So I just got back from shooting not too long ago. What I did find, let me make sure the gun's unloaded here before I start talking about it. Nothing in it. So like I said, I just got back from shooting not too long ago. This is my Beretta 9000S, and I was having some issues with it jamming up. Now I am firing some reloads. Some reasons it could be jamming up. There could be many reasons. It could be the springs in your magazines. You may need to replace the springs in there. It could be your gun's dirty. Well, I know my gun wasn't dirty, so that wasn't an issue. It could be, though, that the springs need to be replaced in the magazines, because the gun is it's over 10 years old. Figured other things that might be is the ramp there. So what I'm going to end up doing today when I take it apart, and actually I'm going to take it apart right now. Again, we'll make sure it's unloaded. We'll decock it. If you're not familiar with the Beretta 9 on taking it apart, what you're going to do is you're going to push this guy here. You push him in, which brings this one out. You bring this one down. And it'll turn down, I think it's 90 degrees once you get it out far enough. There you go, and it just slides off of there. It's got to be exactly in the right position there, and it just slides right off. So gun is a little bit dirty, so we'll go ahead and clean that up. Yeah, we'll clean it all up, and I think, like I was saying, what I'm going to end up doing, see, there's the spring, there's our barrel. So you can see the feed ramp on it there. The feed ramp is really dirty. So hopefully that's the only reason those bullets weren't firing. And like I was mentioning earlier, the reasons they might not be feeding, well, there's some guns too that don't take reloads. Also, it could be if the reloads were too long for the gun. If they were some guns are really picky about the feed, and if they will accept reloads. Cause it could be also, you know, the bullet in the reload. There's so many different things, but I know those weren't issues. As for the reloads that I used, they were all to the right length. They were recommended for reloads. People talked about being able to be fed into a gun. So what I'm going to end up doing, as soon as I clean the gun, I'll bring you guys back, and I'm going to polish up the feed ramp here. So let me get started here. Okay, so I got the gun nice and cleaned up. Another thing I didn't mention, we were talking about reasons it might be not feeding right. And another one could be also the spring. I forgot to mention that. So several different things. They could be the issue. You just got to start somewhere, and like I said, I'm going to start with polishing the feed ramp. So what I've got is some mothers here. If you watch some of the previous videos, I've used the mothers on a couple things. I polished up my Smith & Wesson Model 29. So let's put just a little bit on there. We don't want it to spread too much. So with that on there, I'm going to take my Dremel, and I'll start it really low, because like I said, this stuff's going to kind of bounce around, and open it up a little bit. And you can also burn it. If you end up going too fast, you'll end up burning it. So you don't want to put too much pressure on there, and you don't want to spin it too fast. If you do end up going a little bit faster, just don't put a lot of pressure on it. Kind of move it around a little bit. Don't leave it in one place. If you start to run out of the mothers there. Go ahead and put just a little more on there. A little bit at a time. Now you don't want the ramp to change, you want it to stay the same. Because you'll totally mess the feed up on it if you push too hard on it and redirect the ramp. So. You can already see the way that thing is shining. It doesn't take anything at all. Shine it right up, and hopefully this helps with the way the bullets are feeding into it. We'll add some more mothers to it. If there's not enough on there, that's what'll cause it to heat up. If not that, you're just running it too fast will cause it to heat up too. So. Okay, I think that'll do us good. So what I'll do now is wait for the mothers that I put on there to dry. We'll give it a little wipe, and next time I take it out, see if this did anything. Came out pretty nice, huh? And if you know how the mother's polish works, what you do is you put it on there, and you let it dry up, and then there'll be a little coat on the outside for you to wipe off. There won't be much left on here to wipe up, but I'll still let it sit for a minute here, and then I'll go over it with a cloth and make sure there's nothing at all on there. So we just go over it as if we're just cleaning the gun regularly. Wipe it off. You can see all that came off of there. Actually, while I'm polishing that up, I'll go ahead and polish up a couple other parts of it here. Alright, with it all cleaned up, we'll go ahead and put it back together. Now this will just slide right on there. Slide it right back, put it in position, and you're all ready to go. Alright, so what I'll do now is we'll go ahead and take the gun out and see if that solved the issue of the gun jamming up on the reloads. Alright, so after polishing the feed ramps, I'm going to see if I can fire it without jamming up. Not bad for the first 5 rounds. Alright, so here's 5 more rounds of a different reload that I put in. In case I didn't mention it, I'm firing the reloads out of it first. Alright, here's 5 more rounds of a different reload. Another 5 rounds of a different reload. And the last 5 rounds are factory. So these are the rounds I'd brought out before. I was having issues with the gun jamming up. I was talking about it in another clip that I made over here. I used unique powder and Rainer bullets. The weight in the powder was 6.5 and the weight of the bullets was 135. And then again, I used the unique over here, powder, Rainer bullets. The weight on those was 5.8 and the weight of the bullet was 165. Just to give you an idea, the weight of the bullet being 135 wasn't a hollow point that I put in there. It's pretty much a target. And these guys over here, these were hollow points that I used. And then over here I got a blue dot was the powder that I used, and Rainer bullets. The weight of the powder that I used was 8.5 grain, and the weight of the bullet was 180 hollow point. In the last ones, I used Sierra jacketed hollow point bullets. Used the blue dot powder. The weight of the powder that I used 9.8, and then the weight of the bullet was 1.5. Last time I came out, these ones jammed up the least amount. They still jammed up though, but all of them were jamming up. So it looks like polishing the feed ramp on the gun was the answer to the gun not accepting my reloads. I hope this has helped you guys out. Thanks for watching.